you going?
What kept me going was I had to keep the hope alive, because at that moment there was nothing you can hold on to. I'm in captivity. I'm held incommunicado. Couldn't talk to anyone day or night. The room is dark. The food rations that were being given were not enough to even give us energy. So what kept me going first was my family. I used to pray a lot. I used to remember my people who have left outside, and I was always hoping that I would get a second chance to see them again. I would also exercise a lot at night. I used to keep myself mentally active by exercising, and that got my mind a bit stable. I prayed a lot. At that time, it's only you and God and your God. So I also got very spiritual, and I believe that prayers do work. And many Kenyans also prayed for me. I believe their prayers too also worked miracles.
Did you identify any faces during that period? And again, what was the communication like?
No, the men who were holding us were completely masked. Yeah, they had balaclavas. Now, when we were inside the building, when they opened the door, you cannot tell the face. You could only see the body, But I could not positively identify these men because I did not see them without the masks. Yeah, but I could tell their voices.
Mm-hmm. To this date, have you been able to identify the people behind this abduction and what they were targeting?
I have not been able to identify specifically the persons who abducted me, but I know for sure that I believe that those who abducted me must have been persons, either men from the state, and I believe they were police officers, but from some form of, I don't know what kind of agency it is. But these were officers, yes.
So how did freedom finally come to you? How did you break loose of this captivity?
I think, during my arrest, so many people came out to call for freedom, for a release. From the media itself gave this story a very big publicity. The Law Society of Kenya, they actually took the Inspector General of Police to court on a habeas corpus, which means that they need to produce me. And I think the pressure that came from the human rights organizations, my colleagues from the Free Kenya movement, my family as well, they put up a lot of pressure on the state. Coincidentally, that the day we were released was the same day that the Inspector General was meant to present himself to prison. And that also speaks volumes as to there being a conspiracy. If the state did not abduct me, then why haven't they ever asked me to even record a statement?
Essentially, you're saying this wasn't a coincidence.
It was not a coincidence. I've never been asked to even record a statement since my release. Isn't the state interested of knowing who abducted me, or do they know who abducted me? It's very strange that a month down the lane, 3 people were abducted, and none of these 3 people have been asked by the DCI to come and assist them in investigations to find out who then had abducted us. So it points to a direction that probably they know exactly who had abducted us.
Let's revisit briefly the public support that you've just mentioned.
Yeah.
What impact do you think that had when you had Kenyans and even the media rallying behind you?
I think without that support, I would not be back alive. Yeah, so I really thank Kenyans and everybody who either tweeted or who prayed for us, because I think that was the pressure that came from all corners that compelled those who had abducted us to release us.
In retrospect, Bob, how did you survive on a meal a day?
It's difficult, Francis. I lost I lost, within those 32 days, I lost 12 kgs. So you can imagine the rate at which one is malnutritioned. I was surviving barely on a plate of ugali and cabbage, and at times rice and maharagwe, which was just boiled and presented to you as food. So the ration was very small. I would remember I was very hungry at night. I would be having hunger pangs, but you can't complain and you can't ask for more. So I think what kept me going then was that I would, normally I do fast for 40 days every year. So I think I got into a fasting mode. Yeah, I turned it around and assumed I'm fasting. So when you fast, you have less food. And I think the fasting turned into prayers, and then things happened.
What are some of the biggest lessons that you picked from that dark, small room when you got out?
Freedom is very important.